What happens to the tires of aeroplane when it touches down? Have you ever thought about what happens to the tires of an aeroplane when a huge jet lands at more than 150 miles per hour? In a split second, the huge forces at work, the rough surface, and the wheels' fast spin-up all happen. How do these tires last through such harsh conditions without blowing out or failing? A plane's landing is one of the most exciting and difficult parts of the trip. A huge, multi-ton machine moves from the air to the ground. Many things are involved, such as physics, engineering, and the pilot's skills. The airplane's tires, on the other hand, are often missed in this complicated dance. A strange set of events happens when an aeroplane, which is usually going over 150 miles per hour, lands on a runway. This video talks about the physics, materials, and engineering feats that make it possible for aeroplane tires to safely handle the forces of landing, as well as what happens to them at this very important time. How aeroplane tires are put together. Plane tires aren't like other tires. Unlike car or truck tires, aeroplane tires are made to handle very strong forces, high temperatures, and harsh circumstances. First, let's look at what aeroplane tires are mostly made of. High-strength materials. Tires on aeroplanes are made of nylon and steel belts, vulcanized rubber, and other materials. The tires are strong and flexible enough to hold up the huge weight of an aeroplane because they are made of these materials. Inflation pressure. The tires are filled to very high pressures, usually between 200 and 300 pounds per square inch, which is 6 times higher than a car tire. It's important that this high pressure holds up the plane and cushions the impact of landing. Pattern of the tread. The tread pattern on aeroplane tires is pretty basic. This is because they don't have to deal with wet roads as much as road tires do. The tread's main job is to provide good grip during takeoff and landing, and to let water out so the plane doesn't hydroplane. Heat resistance. Tires need to be able to handle high temperatures, which come from contact from landing and the brakes on the plane. The brakes on an aeroplane make a lot of heat, and the tires have to deal with this. The way landing works. When an aeroplane lands, one of the most physically demanding events it will go through is landing. There is no spinning on the wheels when they first touch the ground, but the plane is going very quickly, most of the time between 150 and 200 miles per hour, 240 to 320 km/h. Let's look at the most important steps in what happens to the tires when the plane lands. The initial effect: as the plane comes in for a landing on the runway, the tires stay still on the ground. When they first touch, the friction between the runway and the rubber speeds up the tires from 0 to the speed of the plane moving forward in a very short amount of time. This quick change in speed is known as spin up, and it puts a lot of stress on the tires. The tires have to quickly change from not rotating at all to moving at the same speed as the plane on the ground. This puts a lot of stress on the rubber and the structure inside. The first impact also causes a force called ground effect, which gives the plane a little extra cushioning as it hits the ground. This happens because the wings of the plane create extra lift close to the ground, which briefly lowers the load on the tires. This effect doesn't last long though, and goes away quickly as the plane lands on the runway. When the plane spins up and moves forward, it causes a lot of friction between the tires and the runway surface. Friction is very important for slowing down the plane, but it makes a lot of heat. This frictional heating can cause tire temperatures to rise rapidly in the first few seconds after touchdown. When it gets really hot, the rubber can wear away quickly, especially where it touches the ground. The tires on aeroplanes are made to quickly lose heat so that they don't get too hot and possibly fail. Steel belts and strengthened rubber inside the tires help absorb and spread the forces of friction and heat over a larger area, which lowers the risk of blowouts. When the tires touch the ground and start to spin, the plane's brakes automatically activate. To slow down, modern planes use both thrust reversers, which move the engine power forward to slow the plane down, and wheel brakes. The brakes for the plane are in the landing gear. They slow the wheel's movement by applying pressure to them. As a result, there is more friction between the tires and the track, which makes the tires even hotter. When you brake hard, the temperature of the tires can sometimes hit over 300 degrees Fahrenheit, 150 degrees Celsius. The weight of the plane, the pressure from the runway, and the forces used to stop the plane all add to the tire wear. But aeroplane tires are made with thick layers of rubber so they can handle many landings before they need to be replaced. One of the biggest problems for aeroplane tires when they land is that they can hydroplane, which can happen on wet or icy fields. When there is a layer of water between the tire and the runway, there is less friction, which makes the plane spin out of control. To keep aeroplane tires from hydroplaning, the tread is made with openings that let water escape from under the tire. The tires are also made of materials that grip the road well, even when it's wet. To lower the risk of hydroplaning, pilots may also do things like land at a slightly higher speed or use thrust reversers more actively. How tires wear down and need repair. Even though aeroplane tires are made with a lot of amazing tech, they still get worn down over time. The heavy weight of the plane, the high speeds at which they land, and the heat made by contact all wear down the rubber surface over time. The tires lose their ability to grip the road and get rid of heat as they wear down. Between 200 and 300 landings is about how many times an aeroplane tire can last before it needs to be changed. This lifespan can change a lot though, based on things like the type of plane, how much weight it carries, how long the flights are, and how good the runways are. The tires on bigger, heavier planes like cargo or passenger jets may need to be changed more often, while the tires on smaller planes may last longer. Also, planes that land on shorter or rougher runways more often may need to change their tires more often because they wear out faster. Many airlines and repair shops use a process called retreading to make aeroplane tires last longer. When you retreat a tire, you take off the worn-out rubber on the top and put on a new layer of rubber. The same tire casing can be used for more than one run, because this process can be done more than once. Retreading tires not only saves money, but also helps the environment because it cuts down on the need for new tires and trash before they are used again. Tires that have been retracted are carefully checked and tested to make sure they meet safety standards. Safety measures and backup plans. Safety is very important because tires are so important for landing. During their working life, aeroplane tires are put through a lot of tests and checks to make sure they are up to the job. Tires are checked regularly by maintenance workers for signs of wear like cracks, bulges, or too much tread loss. If needed, the tires are replaced or retread. Planes also have more than one wheel so that there is a backup in case one of the tires fails. One difference is that the Airbus A380 has 22 wheels and the Boeing 747 has 18. So if one or more tires blow out while landing, the other tires will still be able to hold the plane safely. The aviation heroes who go unnoticed. Tires on aeroplanes are the unsung stars of the sky. They may not seem like a big part of an airplane's complicated systems, but they are very important for making sure that every landing is safe and goes well. The high-strength materials used to make aeroplane tires and their ability to handle high temperatures and forces are amazing feats of engineering. When an aeroplane lands on the runway, it puts a lot of stress on the tires, but they are made to handle it. Their fast spin-up, frictional heating, and stopping forces are all normal parts of landing, and they are made to last hundreds of landings before they need to be replaced. In the world of flight, safety is very important, and aeroplane tires are a great example of how creative people can be and how well engineers can do their jobs. They make sure that passengers can land safely and easily, no matter how fast or heavy the plane is. Then they're ready to go to their next stop. Enjoyed the video? Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more fascinating insights and exciting content. Join the community and let's explore more together.